A new dawn for Côte d'Ivoire as Ouattara steps aside and Gbagbo returns. The political landscape of Côte d'Ivoire has just undergone a seismic shift. In a stunning turn of events, President Alassane Ouattara has been officially removed from the national electoral list, following massive nationwide protests against his controversial bid for a fourth term. And in his place, none other than former President Laurent Gbagbo, whose dramatic return marks a historic moment for the nation. The streets of Abidjan have been boiling with fury as thousands of Ivorians, mothers, fathers, students and workers, rose up in defiance, demanding change. "We are tired," they cried. Tired of rising costs, tired of unemployment, tired of leaders who refused to listen. The message was clear: no more extended rules, no more broken promises. The people's power proved unstoppable, forcing the Electoral Commission to act. Ouattara is out, and the door has swung open for Gbagbo's comeback. For years, Gbagbo was sidelined, his name erased from political discourse. But now his reinstatement has electrified his supporters, who flooded the streets in celebration, tears streaming down their faces. He has arrived. It's over, they chanted, embracing what many see as the end of an oppressive era and the birth of a new beginning. But the question on everyone's mind is, what's next? Will Gbagbo's return heal the nation's wounds, or will it reignite old conflicts? One thing is certain: Côte d'Ivoire stands at a crossroads, and the world is watching. What do you think? Can Gbagbo unite the country, or will this spark fresh turmoil? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explosive updates. The revolution isn't over, it's just getting started. Ivory Coast coup d'etat, mysterious disappearance of Alassane Ouattara. What is happening? It's not just anything, it's a real geopolitical earthquake. Ivory Coast, once considered a pillar of stability in West Africa, now stands on the brink of chaos. President Alassane Ouattara, recently involved in a controversial bid for a fourth presidential term, seems to have vanished from the radar. Total silence, no public appearances, no statements, no images. At the same time, unusual military movements are shaking Abidjan, Bouaké and Yamoussoukro. Drones are flying over Ivorian skies. Foreign military bases appear suddenly more active, and rumors of a coup d'etat are spreading with terrifying intensity. But what is really happening? Where is the president? What is the media hiding? The chilling silence of a fleeing power. It all started with a small detail: Ouattara's absence from a regional summit where he was expected. Then nothing. No photos, no videos, not even a tweet. Meanwhile, military sources report armored vehicles deployed around the presidential palace. Witnesses report panic in certain neighborhoods of Abidjan. The airport is suddenly placed under tight security. Social media explodes with speculation. Is it a deliberate media blackout, a diversion strategy, or the confirmation of a military coup? One mandate too many. Let's not forget, Ouattara had already drawn heavy criticism from citizens and politicians alike by announcing a fourth term, a decision many saw as a provocation, an insult to the constitution and a sign of authoritarian drift. Protests erupted and were harshly suppressed. The opposition called for resistance, but Ouattara seemed unshakable until now. Some analysts say a faction of the army, fed up with the situation, may have decided to act. Others speak of a silent coalition involving military forces, former political allies and foreign powers. Alarming signs of a takeover by the military. In the streets, the mood is tense. Citizens report low-flying helicopters, unidentified soldiers taking positions at strategic points. Loyalist units reportedly attempted to push back dissident factions, with no success. National TV is still airing normal programming, but behind the scenes, everything seems frozen. No presidential statement, no visible ministers, a silence that speaks volumes and inspires fear. Foreign involvement: France, the US, and geopolitics. Eyes are now turning to foreign powers. The United States has an operational base in West Africa. American drones were reportedly flying over Abidjan. Officially, it's just an exercise, but in this tense context, nothing seems innocent. France, Ivory Coast's historic ally, is strangely silent. Paris, usually quick to react in African crises, hasn't yet taken a stance. Why? Is it a strategic repositioning, a loss of influence, or a silent participation in a post-Ouattara scenario? A furious people, ready for anything. Beyond geopolitics, it's the voice of the Ivorian people that's growing louder. Tired of corruption, injustice, and never-ending presidencies, many young Ivorians say they're ready to take their future into their own hands. Videos of spontaneous gatherings in several cities reflect a revolutionary atmosphere. The slogans are clear: never again, no to a fourth term, power to the people. The streets have not said their last word, and a new leadership could be emerging in the shadows. Possible scenarios between chaos and rebirth. So what could happen in the coming hours or days? Here are 3 possible scenarios. 1. Authoritarian comeback. Ouattara reappears, seizes control by force, and imposes order through brutal repression. But this would fuel popular anger and possibly trigger a civil war. 2. Military transition. A junta announces the president's removal, promises a transition period, and organizes new elections. This is the Guinean, Burkinabe, Malian scenario, but such transitions often drag on and risk serious abuses. 3. Democratic refoundation. A citizen-led coalition, backed by moderate military figures, takes charge of a national unity government. Civil society is involved, and a real national dialogue begins. This is the most difficult option, but also the most promising. 7. Francophone Africa at a crossroads. What's happening in Ivory Coast goes far beyond its borders. From Dakar to Libreville, from Lomé to N'Djamena, people are watching, soldiers are watching, aging presidents are trembling. Ivory Coast could become a symbol, a turning point. It could either sink into violence and instability, or pave the way for a new African democracy, one based on respect, justice, and people's sovereignty. As night falls on Abidjan, hearts beat faster. The uncertainty is unbearable. People of Ivory Coast, of Africa, never again a dictator, never again an imposter. We're tired. If Ouattara dares to pursue a 4th term, this is the beginning of an uprising. If he's smart, he'll renounce it and stop violating the constitution. During the October election, French troops were deployed in Abidjan to secure the process. The French Army HQ confirmed this to AFP. Many Ivorians saw it as proof of their country's subordination to France, unable to ensure its own security, having to call France for help. One online commenter calls it an insult. Another says, "How is this even possible?" A third offers another interpretation. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, spread the truth. Some want to bury it under a media blackout, but the truth will always come to light.